Since we are nearing the end of a summer break, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about my predictions for the final point standings. I will be going from 20th to 1st, so let's get started with who I think will be last in the point standings. I unfortunately will have to go for Robert Kubica. As much as I want to say he has a great comeback and cracks the top 15 in points, I don't see it happening. Kubica has consistently been the worst driver on the grid, and I don't think that single point that he got at Germany will get him far. In 19th, I have the other Williams driver, George Russell. Williams has been struggling this season. They have been struggling so much that even a driver as talented as George Russell can't capture a single point by the summer break. I do see Russell getting at least 2 points, though, as I think he will start improving as the season goes on. I have Grosjean in 18th in points. He already has 8 points to his name, and as I said, I see him getting more points. I don't think he'll get enough to crack the top 17, though, and he will maintain 18th. 17th in points is Antonio Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi only has 1 point, and even if he has a great fall and scores more points, I don't see him catching Magnussen, who will probably have a few more points finishes. I think Antonio will maintain 17th, but come pretty close to Kevin Magnussen. In 16th, I have Kevin Magnussen. Magnussen has a decent 18 points, but I think he will only score 6 or 7 points from here to the end of the season. Haas is becoming the 9th best team, only ahead of Williams, and I think it will be hard for Magnussen to maintain good results. In 15th in points, I have Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll's only highlight this season was his 4th place at Germany. Other than that, this season has been horrific for him. I think it will be hard for Stroll to maintain 12th, and I think he will fall. I predict 14th will belong to the Renault veteran Nico Hülkenberg. Hülkenberg is definitely a number 2 performing driver, but he is consistent. I think he will use his consistency to move up in the points and be right there with the midfielders. Is Kvyat's podium good enough for a top 10 in points? No. Is it good enough for 13th in points? I believe so. Daniel has been up and down this season, but I think his final position in points will be 13th. I think he will definitely fall off from here to Abu Dhabi, scoring very few points. In 12th place, I predict you will find Sergio Perez. Perez has gotten off to a slow start at the beginning of the season, being 16th in points, but I think Checo will do what Checo does best: score points. I think Daniel Ricciardo will be 11th in points. While Ricciardo will hold his current position if this prediction comes true, his points gained is much larger. I think he will grow into Renault as the season goes on and score 8th or better at almost every race for the rest of the season. We now enter the top 10 in points, which is where Pierre Gasly will be found. Now, Gasly is a tough one. He raced for one of the top 3 teams at the beginning of the season, Red Bull, but he's now racing for the junior team, Toro Rosso. I think the rookie Lando Norris will get 9th. Norris is at McLaren, which may already be called the dominator of the midfield, but I do see Renault and Racing Point competing with them for that all-important 7th place in the driver's standings. I think Lando will indeed improve and score lots of points like Ricciardo. In 8th, I have the Iceman, Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi seems to be carrying Alfa Romeo, scoring 31 of the team's 32 points, and I think he will continue doing so, getting him a decent position in points. Now for the best of the rest champion, which if you've been using the process of elimination, you have already figured out that it is Carlos Sainz. In my opinion, Carlos Sainz is currently the best midfield driver, and I think most of you will agree. We now break into the top 3 teams in points. I think 6th place in points will belong to Alexander Albon. Albon is also an interesting one. He started the season at the junior team at Toro Rosso, but he will begin the rest of the season at the senior team of Red Bull, taking Pierre Gasly's place. I think he will do better than Gasly and even outrun Verstappen at some races. My prediction is that Sebastian Vettel will have a slump and finish 5th or 6th at almost every race for the rest of the season. To go with this, I think he will fall from 4th to 5th in the point standings. A late season slump has happened to him every year he has been at Ferrari so far. In 4th place is Vettel's teammate, Charles Leclerc. Leclerc has been inconsistent in the first half of the season, but I think he'll do what he did at Alfa Romeo last season, which was collect lots of points and move through the rankings. We now enter the top 3 in points, starting with Valtteri Bottas. Bottas is currently 2nd in points, 67 behind his Mercedes teammate, Lewis Hamilton. I do see him falling back a position, though, but I think he'll still win a couple races from here to the end of the season at Abu Dhabi. Now, most of you probably noticed there are two drivers left. Max Verstappen, who is currently third in points, and Lewis Hamilton, who is currently the points leader. I see these two getting very close in the point standings, making a great championship battle. But my prediction for the 2019 Formula One Drivers' Champion is Lewis Hamilton. Now, before I get into my champion, I will go over Max Verstappen, who I think will get second in points. I see Verstappen winning lots of races from here to the end of the season and getting very close to Hamilton, but I think Max's slow start to the season will be his downfall. And now I will go over my prediction for the 2019 Formula One Drivers' Champion, Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton has definitely been the best driver in 2019, making him a deserving champion. I think he won't score as much points as Verstappen in the last 9 races, but Hamilton had such a good beginning to the season that I don't think there will be any way anybody can beat him for the championship. If this actually happens, it will be his 7th career title, tying him for the most all-time with Michael Schumacher. It will also be Lewis's 3rd title in a row. I want to know who you think will be the 2019 Formula One World Champion. Vote in the poll at the top right of your screen, or put your complete point standings with all the drivers on the grid like me in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.